Chosen one, there is a quiet stirring within you, a subtle shift that you feel deep in your spirit. It's not the kind of excitement that you're used to feeling before something big happens. Instead, it's a calm, steady knowing that something is about to change. This isn't a moment of mere anticipation, it's divine preparation. For so long, you've been unknowingly preparing for a shift that will not announce itself with fireworks or fanfare. It's going to come quietly, yet it will shake the foundation of everything you've known. When it arrives, it will feel like a moment of clarity, a shift that changes everything in an instant. The enemy, however, knows what is coming and is working overtime to keep you distracted, exhausted, and filled with doubt. It's no coincidence that you've been facing opposition at every turn. The enemy is aware that something significant is about to unfold in your life. Instead of being able to stop it, the enemy seeks to derail your readiness for it. These attacks are not signs that the blessing isn't coming. Rather, they are signs that the enemy is desperate to keep you from embracing what God has already set in motion. The moment of truth is approaching, and you must be ready to embrace this shift. The silence and stillness you've experienced were never signs of defeat. They were preparation. Now, the time has come to walk forward with faith, knowing that everything you've endured has activated the breakthrough you've been waiting for. Chosen one, the enemy has long understood your potential and the divine calling that rests upon your life. His primary tactic is to keep you in a state of confusion, hesitation, and doubt, hoping to prevent you from recognizing the greatness that lies ahead. His strategy is not one of loud, overt attacks, but silent, subtle ones that prey on your emotions and your mind. He aims to disorient you, making you question your worth, your timing, and your decisions. When you look back at the quiet seasons you've walked through, the enemy seeks to make you feel as though you missed your opportunity. He wants you to doubt your readiness for what's about to unfold. The truth, however, is that your quiet moments were not mistakes. The periods of restraint, the times when you held your peace and waited in silence, were not signs of weakness. They were a divine act of preparation. The enemy may have whispered lies, trying to convince you that your stillness was a sign of failure, but God was working in the silence. Just as the Bible says in Isaiah 40:31, "But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint." The moments of hesitation that you believed were keeping you from your breakthrough were actually building your strength and equipping you for the blessings to come. The enemy will try to convince you that the time for your breakthrough has passed, that you missed it, and that you are no longer worthy. This lie is his most common weapon, doubt. He will make you question your worthiness, your timing, and even the promises God has spoken over your life. But this too is a lie. You have always been worthy of the promises God has for you, and His timing is always perfect. He has been preparing you in ways that you cannot see, and the quiet moments were part of that preparation. You may look at your circumstances and wonder why things haven't unfolded as you expected. You might question whether your past mistakes, hesitations, or delays have disqualified you. But rest assured, the delay was never a denial. It was part of God's divine timing. In those moments when you felt stuck or uncertain, God was at work behind the scenes. He was perfecting your character, refining your faith, and strengthening your spirit. And as it says in Romans 8:28, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." Your moments of silence, your feelings of hesitation, were never wasted. They were all leading up to this moment of divine revelation and breakthrough. The enemy's greatest fear is that you will understand this truth, that despite the challenges, despite the delays, despite the lies he has tried to plant in your heart, you are exactly where God needs you to be. The breakthrough that is coming to you is not a matter of chance. It is divinely orchestrated. and the time has come for it to unfold. While the enemy may try to distract you with confusion and doubt, you have already taken the necessary steps to activate this moment of transformation. Your steps of obedience, no matter how small they seemed, have been building up to this point. The moments where you were tempted to give in, to rush ahead, or to speak out of turn, but chose to remain silent, have been your greatest acts of faith. Those moments were not mistakes. They were the final pieces of the puzzle being placed into position. And now, the puzzle is complete, and the picture that God has been painting for your life is about to be revealed in full. So, chosen one, in this time of waiting, in the midst of your doubts and struggles, you have been quietly fulfilling God's purpose in ways you cannot yet fully understand. The enemy has tried to convince you that your time has passed, but God's timing is always perfect. You are exactly where you need to be, and the breakthrough is closer than you think. Trust in the process. Trust in God's divine plan, and know that He has already gone ahead of you to prepare the way. Chosen one, the waiting season you've endured may have felt long, and in many ways, it likely seemed as though you were stuck in a cycle of delay. Watching others move forward while you remained in a state of stillness has created feelings of doubt and frustration. You may have asked yourself why others seem to be advancing while you seem to be at a standstill. The enemy has attempted to sow seeds of hopelessness and discouragement, making you question if the promises God gave you will ever come to pass. These feelings of stagnation, of waiting endlessly, are not unfamiliar to those chosen to walk a greater path. But chosen one, the delay you've experienced is not a denial, and the cycle you think you are stuck in is not a cycle at all. What you are truly experiencing is the tension before the breakthrough, the stretching of the invisible thread before it snaps into place. It may feel like you're starting over again and again, but this is not true. God has never allowed you to start over. He has allowed you to grow. This waiting season is not about being held back, but rather, it has been about you becoming more prepared to receive what God has promised. Remember what Isaiah 55:8-9 says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." God's timing and plan are perfect, and while it may seem delayed from your perspective, it is unfolding exactly as it should. The enemy wants you to believe that you're stuck in a cycle, that your waiting has been in vain, and that the promises God spoke over you will never materialize. He wants you to feel as though you are continually starting over, that the delays are just indications of failure or inadequacy. But this could not be further from the truth. What you are really experiencing is preparation. Each moment of waiting has shaped you, refined you, and equipped you with the wisdom, patience, and discernment needed for the blessings about to unfold. Just as a woman experiences labor pains before the arrival of new life, your moments of discomfort and silence are the final stretch before your breakthrough. The stretching of that invisible thread is the building of your capacity, making you ready for what is to come. The moment of breakthrough does not happen at random. It is activated by your obedience, your silence, and your restraint. These moments of stillness were not a sign of passivity, but of divine strategy. You did not delay the blessing. Your willingness to wait, to trust in God's timing, has activated the very moment of your breakthrough. You may not have seen it, but all this time, God was aligning everything, bringing everything into place. Your silent obedience, even when it felt like you were doing nothing, was the final piece that God needed in order to launch you into the fullness of His plan. The Bible reminds us in Romans 8:28 that all things work together for the good of those who love God, who have been called according to His purpose. Each step you took, even when you thought it was a step backwards, was actually preparing you for a future that you could not yet see. Your sacrifice, your willingness to stay patient and trust in God has all been part of a bigger plan. God sees what you cannot yet see, and in His perfect timing, the breakthrough will come. Now, chosen one, you are on the verge of something extraordinary. The waiting season was never a period of useless delay. It was the womb in which your purpose and promise were being nurtured. The struggle, the waiting, the silence, it all had a purpose, and it was preparing you for this very moment. You are not starting over. You are stepping into what God has prepared for you. The tension you have felt in the silence will soon be released into a manifestation of His promises. When the breakthrough comes, it will be as though everything aligns perfectly, and the pieces that once seemed scattered will come together in a perfect symphony of purpose and fulfillment. In this new season, chosen one, the silence, the restraint, and the waiting will become the foundation for your future success. You will look back on these moments with awe and gratitude, understanding that every challenge, every delay, every moment of doubt was necessary for you to become the person who could carry the blessing. You will no longer see yourself as someone who is stuck in a cycle, but as someone who has been refined and prepared for the glory that is about to be revealed. So, chosen one, trust that the waiting is over. The breakthrough is at hand, and it is far greater than you have imagined. Everything that seemed like a delay was simply the stretching of the thread before it breaks and releases the fullness of God's promises for you. Walk forward in confidence, knowing that God has been with you through every moment, shaping you, preparing you, and bringing you to this pivotal moment in your life. The wait was not in vain, and now you are about to step into the abundance and blessing that God has always planned for you. Your breakthrough is now, and the time for fulfillment has arrived. Chosen one, it's time to step into readiness, but this readiness is not merely about waiting. It's about positioning yourself spiritually to receive everything that has already been promised and decreed for you. Readiness in this season is not about waiting passively for something to happen. It's about understanding that the spiritual groundwork has already been laid. God has already moved on your behalf, and now you must move in alignment with what He has already set in motion. You are not waiting for some external validation or sign to start, for the truth is that you are already prepared. God has been refining you, aligning your heart, and shaping your spirit for this moment. And now it's time to walk confidently into the future He has destined for you. In Jeremiah 29:11, the Word of God promises, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope." This is the truth you must stand on as you step into this next phase of your life. God has already decreed your future, and it is filled with hope, purpose, and abundance. The delays you once felt were not setbacks. They were part of your preparation. Now that you have been prepared, it is time to step into that readiness and receive the blessings that have been waiting for you. Being ready is an active choice. Readiness is not just a passive expectation. It is an active, deliberate alignment with God's will and timing. You have been waiting, yes, but now it's time to stop rehearsing the delays and start operating in the truth that God has already set everything in motion for your benefit. Ephesians 3:20 reminds us, "Now to Him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to His power that is at work within us." The power that is at work within you has already prepared the way, and now it is time for you to step into it boldly, trusting that the path before you is one of divine purpose. Readiness is about being spiritually aligned. It's about recognizing that the battle has already been won in the spiritual realm, and that the victory is yours to claim. Your silence, your waiting, and your growth have all been steps that have positioned you to receive what has been promised. You are no longer waiting for permission from the world or from anyone else. The truth is, you've already been given permission by God. Now it's time to rise up and step into the fullness of your calling. The moment you've been waiting for is no longer out there somewhere. It is here, and it is now. When you take that step forward, know that you are not just moving in your own strength. You are moving in the confidence that God has already equipped you for everything ahead. This shift in posture, this shift in mindset is crucial. You are no longer waiting for the moment to be perfect or for the timing to be just right. The truth is that you are the one who will make the moment right by stepping forward in faith. This is your time. God is calling you to move forward, to trust, and to act in faith. Psalm 23:1 tells us, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." The readiness that God calls you to is not just a readiness to receive blessings, but a readiness to fulfill your purpose. It's about stepping out in faith, trusting that He will provide everything you need along the way. As you align your actions with your calling, God's provision, protection, and guidance will be evident at every turn. In this new season, you may not see all the details or understand exactly how things will unfold, but that is where faith comes in. Faith is the foundation on which your readiness stands. It is through faith that you will step into everything that God has prepared for you. Hebrews 11:1 reminds us, "Now faith is confidence in what we hope for, and assurance about what we do not see." You may not see the complete picture, but you can have confidence and assurance that God has already laid the path before you, and your step forward is the confirmation of your trust in Him. The shift in posture that God is calling you to is not just about making a decision to move forward. It's about aligning every part of your being with the purpose He has set before you. Your heart, mind, and spirit must be aligned with His plan, and this alignment is what will enable you to navigate the journey ahead with clarity and purpose. Your actions will speak louder than words, and your trust in God will guide your every step. As you embrace this new phase of readiness, you may encounter challenges, but know that every challenge is an opportunity to grow, to trust, and to deepen your faith. The path ahead may require you to stretch, to take risks, and to face the unknown, but you are fully equipped. God has already prepared you for everything that lies ahead, and He will be with you every step of the way. Isaiah 40:31 says, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." This promise is yours. As you step into readiness, God will renew your strength, and you will walk in the fullness of His plan for your life. This is the moment when everything you have been waiting for aligns with the truth of who you are in Him. You are ready, and God is about to take you places you've only dreamed of. Chosen one, this is your time to step forward in faith, knowing that everything you have endured has prepared you for this moment. Trust in God's timing, trust in His plan, and move forward with the confidence that you are exactly where you need to be. The shift is happening, and you are walking right into the blessings that God has prepared for you. Chosen one, the journey you have embarked upon has been one of unseen preparation and divine moments, leading you to this pivotal point. Just like Elijah, who witnessed the small cloud the size of a man's hand before the rain arrived, 1 Kings 18:44, you too are seeing signs of what's to come. These small, seemingly insignificant signs are powerful indicators of the breakthrough that is about to manifest. It is easy to overlook the smallest flickers of hope, especially when they are accompanied by doubts and the whispers of the enemy. But these are the first signs of the blessings and changes that God has been preparing for you. The enemy will try to convince you that the small signs you're seeing are inconsequential. But God has a way of using the smallest beginnings to ignite mighty moves. Just like the tiny cloud on the horizon, which Elijah recognized as a sign of abundant rain, these signs in your life are far from trivial. They are evidence of something much larger on the way. Hold on to these moments of hope and trust that they are the beginning of a storm of blessings that will change everything. As the word says in Zechariah 4:10, "Do not despise these small beginnings, for the Lord rejoices to see the work begin." There are moments in life when the evidence seems to be absent, and yet you hear the call of your spirit. urging you to press on, to believe in the unseen. Elijah, before the rainstorm had even formed, heard the sound of it in his spirit. Faith led him to act before any visible manifestation. In the same way, you, chosen one, must trust in what your spirit has already discerned, even if there is no tangible evidence yet. The faith that you carry within is stronger than any natural sight, and it will guide you to step forward with confidence. This is the season when faith becomes the driving force, and you are called to walk in that faith, believing that what you hear in your spirit is as real as the rainstorm that is about to pour forth. Just as Elijah's faith allowed him to trust in the rainstorm that had yet to appear, you too must trust that what you are hearing, what God has promised you, will come to fruition. The doubts that arise from not seeing immediate results can be overwhelming, and the enemy will work tirelessly to make you question whether what you've heard is truly from God. But remember that it was the small cloud that led to the mighty downpour. Even now, you are seeing the first signs, the first flickers of God's promise beginning to unfold in your life. You are on the precipice of something great, and your faith, like Elijah's, is the key to unlocking it. God's timing is perfect, and just as the small cloud in Elijah's vision turned into a torrential downpour, so too will the promises God has spoken over your life. They are not just dreams, they are destiny. These small signs you're seeing are evidence of a storm that is about to come in a way that you cannot predict, but will far exceed your expectations. The manifestations of God's promises in your life will not look like what you imagined, but they will be beyond what you could have hoped for. They will arrive at the appointed time, and your faith will be the gateway to receiving them. As you step into this season, remember that the enemy will continue to sow seeds of doubt, trying to make you question the validity of the small signs and the promises that seem distant. But you must hold fast to what you've heard in your spirit. Your faith is what will bring the promise into being. Hebrews 11:1 tells us that faith is the confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. This is the essence of the season you are in, walking in confidence and assurance, even when the natural evidence is still far from the breakthrough you anticipate. Trust in what you cannot see, for what you hear in your spirit will manifest in the physical realm in due time. The manifestation of the promise may not come in the way you expect, but it will certainly come. God's ways are higher than ours, and His plans are always greater than we could imagine. Just as Elijah's faith led him to stand firm in his belief, even before the rain was visible, your faith will lead you to receive the blessing and breakthrough you've been waiting for. The small signs you see now will grow into a mighty manifestation of what God has already spoken over your life. As the storm begins to form, know that this is the beginning of the fulfillment of God's promises for you. The rain you've been waiting for is not just a sprinkle. It is a flood of blessings and opportunities, a new season of growth and expansion. It will pour into every area of your life, relationships, finances, purpose, and destiny. You may not yet see the full extent of what's coming, but trust that it is already on its way. The small cloud is the first indicator of the mighty downpour, and just like Elijah, you are standing at the threshold of a great blessing. This season will require patience, faith, and the ability to see beyond what is immediately visible. Keep your eyes on the small signs, the flickers of hope, and remember that the storm is coming. Keep pressing forward with faith, knowing that God's timing is perfect, and the promises He has spoken over your life will come to pass. What you've been waiting for is closer than you think. Just as the rain followed the small cloud, your breakthrough is following these early signs. Your faith will lead the way, and God will bring to pass all that He has promised. The storm is coming, and it is going to be greater than you imagined. Chosen one, the season you are stepping into is not just one of blessings, but also of divine exposure. While you may feel the excitement and anticipation of what's to come, there is an equally profound purpose in this season.
the exposure of your heart. This exposure is not meant to harm you or show you in a negative light. Rather, it is God's loving way of refining you for the weight of the blessings He is preparing for you. Just as gold is refined by fire, this season of exposure is meant to purify your heart, revealing areas of doubt, unhealed wounds, and hidden beliefs that need to be addressed. It is in these moments that God's love and protection are most evident, for He is making sure that your heart is aligned with His plans for you. As it says in Proverbs 4:23, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it."
The heart is the center of your being, and it must be in the right condition to handle the blessings that are coming. This exposure is not a punishment, but an opportunity for growth. God, in His infinite wisdom, knows that in order for you to handle the abundance that is on its way, you must be prepared spiritually and emotionally. This season may feel uncomfortable, but know that it is necessary. The enemy will try to make you feel unworthy or inadequate during this time, but the truth is that God is revealing these areas to you not to shame you, but to elevate you. In 1 Peter 1:7, we are reminded that the genuineness of your faith, being much more precious than gold that perishes, though it is tested by fire, may be found to praise, honor, and glory at the revelation of Jesus Christ. This season is a test that will refine your faith and character, preparing you to carry the fullness of God's promises. The process of exposure will reveal the areas that need healing and transformation. Some of these areas may be difficult to confront, but they are necessary for your spiritual and emotional growth. The hidden wounds, doubts, and beliefs that have held you back will be brought to the surface so that they can be addressed. God is making space for the blessings to flow freely into your life. Just as a garden must be cleared of weeds before new seeds can be planted, this exposure is God's way of clearing the ground in your heart. Isaiah 61:3 speaks of God's ability to turn mourning into joy, and this is what He is doing in your life right now. The process may be challenging, but it is part of your journey toward a greater purpose. Through this exposure, you will experience a deepening of your faith and character. The enemy will try to use this season to plant seeds of doubt, but you must stand firm in your identity as a beloved child of God. The exposure of your heart is not about bringing shame, but about bringing healing and transformation. God is preparing you to receive the abundance that He has promised. When your heart is aligned with His will, there is no limit to the blessings that can flow into your life. As 2 Corinthians 4:17 reminds us, "For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all." The challenges you face in this season are preparing you for an eternal weight of glory that will far exceed anything you've imagined. As God exposes the areas that need healing, it is essential to expand your capacity to receive the blessings He is preparing. Think of the widow in 2 Kings 4:3-4, who was instructed to gather as many vessels as possible to receive the oil. She could have gathered only a few, but she trusted in God's provision and gathered as many vessels as she could find. The oil filled every vessel, and there was more than enough. This is the kind of abundance God has for you. The more you prepare, the greater the outpouring will be. Your capacity to receive will be determined by your willingness to align your heart with God's purpose. If you hold back or limit your faith, you will limit what God can pour into your life. But if you expand your faith and trust in His provision, He will pour out blessings that overflow. The process of expanding your capacity is not just about material blessings. It's about preparing your heart to handle all that God is doing in your life. This season of exposure and preparation will build your emotional and spiritual resilience, allowing you to carry the weight of the blessings that are coming. It will also prepare you to steward those blessings with wisdom, humility, and grace. God does not bless us for our own benefit alone. He blesses us to be a blessing to others. As the Bible says in 2 Corinthians 9:8, "And God is able to bless you abundantly, so that in all things, at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work." The blessings you receive are not just for you. They are for the kingdom of God and the people around you. As you continue through this process, know that God is aligning everything in your life for your highest good. The exposure of your heart is part of His divine plan to prepare you for what is coming. It may feel uncomfortable at times, but trust that this is God's way of refining you and making you ready to carry His abundant blessings. Remember that God's timing is perfect, and the moment of breakthrough is closer than you think. When your heart is in alignment with His will, the blessings will flow freely, and you will be able to steward them with grace, wisdom, and humility. Keep trusting in God's plan, knowing that He is working behind the scenes to bring everything into place for your good and His glory. The season of waiting has finally come to an end. What seemed like an eternal pause, the silence that surrounded the Chosen One for so long, is now lifting. The Chosen One has walked through the process, faced the challenges, and remained faithful through it all. Now it is time to step through the door that has been divinely opened. What is coming is not simply a blessing, but the fulfillment of every promise God has made. The time for waiting is over, and now is the season of manifestation, where God's plan for you begins to take full shape. With the doors wide open, the Chosen One must walk forward with boldness and confidence, knowing that they are more than prepared for what lies ahead. The preparation, the lessons learned, and the challenges faced have equipped them with everything needed for this new season. God has crafted these blessings, tailor-made to align perfectly with the purpose He has ordained for them. The promises that once felt distant are now tangible, ready to be embraced. The breakthrough that was once anticipated is no longer a distant hope. It is here now. The Chosen One must receive what God has already decreed with a heart full of gratitude and faith. This is not a coincidence. It is divine timing unfolding. As the Chosen One steps into the fullness of God's promises, they can rest assured that nothing can hinder what God has set in motion. The waiting has led to this moment, and now it is time to step into the abundant life God has prepared for you.